Hey y'all, so Timo here again. Today we're finally done with the Udyr decks. Today I bring you something different. So this is a nice Ezreal Heimer deck that I've seen running around on Twitter and different ladder people playing this deck. And it feels really good, so I wanted to showcase it to you guys. So if you guys were not familiar, remember from the past, Riot made a big change that now made it so that they changed the cast to play. So as soon as you play one of your skills, one of your spells, for example, let's say Mystic Shot, you play Mystic Shot on a target. It doesn't matter if the opponent does a glimpse. It doesn't matter if the opponent does an amplify or a deny, or somehow does a recall to stop the Mystic Shot from actually hitting their unit. It will still count towards the Ezreal level up, and it will also still count towards the Ezreal level 2 ability. It will also count towards Heimerdinger. The moment that you commit that spell, Heimer really creates the turret in your hand right away, right off the bat. So this deck is kind of taking advantage of that change and playing both champions that can abuse that, Ezreal and Heimer, to just get a lot of value here. It is kind of like a burn aggro type of deck, right? So you're going really early on with some of your cheap units like Senate Urchin, Baboon, Conchologist, Financier, just trying to push a lot of early damage, right? You're able to combine that with your Chumpers and the Chumpers that you get from Boom Baboon, as well as having Electro Harpoon and Senate Urchin to be able to pull blockers away. So that you're able to do a lot of cheap damage early on. So let's say you have a Boom Baboon on turn 2, you can play Senate Urchin on turn 3 and have a way to pull a blocker away so that you can push for 5 damage, let's say, for example. Because every single point of damage will matter because of how you're able to finish games off so quickly with Ezreal. Then, obviously, the big units are going to be Ezreal and Heimer, right? The whole point is that you're able to get the opponent down to, let's say, heck, even like 10 HP, 10, 12 HP is not safe for the opponent. Like there are cases where you might have your Ezreal leveled up and the opponent has like 10 HP. You play Ezreal and you commit 5 spells and just burn them to death right away. So the lower you can get your opponent by the time the Ezreal comes down, then better and better it's going to be for you. Obviously, with the whole go wide and go aggro strategy, that's what Heimer is here for. Because you can get the turrets so easily and they cost 0, you're able to create these turrets that allow you to go wide and be able to just continuously push. Even if it's just pushing 2-4 damage every turn, it adds up really quickly. Because again, this is kind of like an aggro burn deck. So every time you push that 4 damage, it adds up. We do play 3 Station Archivist because she can draw us into a lot of our burn, right? Because the last part of this deck that I haven't discussed is all the burn that we're playing. So again, aggro burn deck. So we're playing Double Harpoon, which synergizes with the Chumpers from the Boom Baboon and the Chumpers that you play. Triple Mystic, triple Pokey, triple Get Excited, triple Static Shock, and we even played 1 Shock Blast, right? The one of Wallop is there to kind of save us against like some crazy attacks, like they say, like a big Udyr, to potentially buy us a turn to be able to win the game. But the other cards are just burning the opponent down whenever we can, as well as being able to target the units to stop them from killing us or removing blockers as we need to. Honestly, this deck felt amazing. I played it quite a bit today, and every game felt really good. The only problem is, as you see in the video, you are still vulnerable to like control decks, right? So again, because we're going like very low curve, like low health units, you will die to like Wells, Rabins, Avalanche, right? Vengeance it can be annoying against your units as well. Even though you can get the value from Heimer and Ezreal as soon as they drop down into the field, you still wanting to stay alive for a little bit longer if you can, and then Vengeance kind of ruins that for you. But aside from control, every other matchup feels really good with this deck because you're just burning opponent down and rushing them quicker than they can get to you. So anyways, enough rambling for myself. Hope you enjoy the games coming up soon, and stay for the end of the video for some mulligan tips. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against Miss Fortune, Twisted Fate. So we do have a lot of early blockers, and we have okay, so this head is not bad. I'm debating if the Static Shock makes sense. I think it does. Static Shock makes sense, right? It gives me a draw, and it's gonna hit 2 units that the opponent has. So we can get rid of 2 attackers. The only punish for Static Shock is if the opponent actually doesn't get like anything worth oh, that's such a good draw. If the opponent doesn't get anything that's worth to Static Shock, that's the only punish to this, right? If the opponent wants to block here, I'm okay with this. The opponent decides not to. Okay. Sure. Now what? Okay, that's a little bit annoying, right? Because he got the value from the Jagged Butcher. But we can use the Archivist, right? Have the Electro Harpoon as a backup. Or is it better to keep the Archivist for later? I think it's better to keep the Archivist for later. Oh, this is really good too. This is really good too. Because we can just kill this, right? If we attack. In which case, the Cloud is probably better. The Pokey Stick is nice because he can ping something. But I think because we have the Static Shock, I don't think the Pokey Stick is doing a lot. Although I guess the Pokey Stick could allow us to... The Pokey Stick is another draw, right? So I think it is worth it, right? We could have gotten the Cloud Stance. We could have gone Cloud Stance because the problem here is going to be Misfortune being able to kill this unit, right? Let's do it like this. Let's do it like this right now. Set her up to 1 so that the Pokey Stick can kill her next turn. If we had the Cloud Stance, we actually would have been able to kill the Misfortune. So it's a little bit unfortunate that we didn't. I'm going to attack like this because if the opponent doesn't block, they're taking 2 damage. Completely fine with me. Because remember, at the end of the day, we are a burn deck. So we are kind of racing them down as well. Now, if opponent decides not to open attack, we just kill Misfortune, right?
For the Empire.
Let's do it with the Pokey Stick. Let's do it with the Pokey Stick. Because he's putting damage on this, I don't feel like doing the static anymore. I shouldn't play. I should play around a Twisted Fate though. I should play around a Twisted Fate and not block with this. Okay, so since he did it like that, now I'm gonna go ahead. I'm not gonna play around it. I'm not gonna play around the Twisted Fate. I'm gonna go ahead and do it this way. This is a pretty good hit as well because he can let us kill multiple things. Opponent decides to give us everything. We can just block. We can just block because we're going to have more value than the opponent. Because now we can just do the Archivist and potentially get something that we can use to kill the rest of his units. While also having a blocker there. Pokey Stick is better, right? Pokey Stick is better because I probably don't want to discard anything, right? Ah, that sucks though. That kind of sucks. I guess we'll do it like this. We'll do it like this. That will put both units in range of Mystic Shot. We know we're getting another Pokey Stick soon. Yeah, this is fine. We have blockers and kills for everything. Oh, that's a huge draw. That's a huge draw. That should be... Oh yeah, this is a game-winning draw right here. It's a good blocker. And we also get Mystic Shot access, right? So we can do it like this. Here's the question. Do we care? Do we want this to stay alive? I guess that's my question, right? You know what? A lot of these decks have been cutting the make it rain. So all we have to worry about is gonna be the TF, Twisted Fate, right? But we can just open attack for another 5-7 damage next turn, and the opponent's gonna be in trouble if they do the Fervor right here and don't kill the Heimer. Because we have a blocker here. This survives. We get to summon the turret for free. Because this now resolves right away. Opponent probably drew a Fervor here, so they're trying to decide. If they have a Fervor, you obviously always do it here. But this is why this change from cast to play was so important. Because before, if the opponent did this play, you wouldn't get a turret. But now you do. Now you get a turret. So look what happens. Now the opponent's in a spot where they're going to take 7 health. Like they're literally going to take 7 damage here. And they cannot do anything about it. We always hope it because we want to play around the Twisted Fate. They take 7 and we have just enough. I guess we don't have enough for Lito just yet. But I mean, Ezreal is going to level up soon. Let's just put the Ezreal in the field. Like, Ezreal is going to level up soon and just completely destroy the opponent. Right? So, let's do the static. No, let's do the Mystic. Let's do the Mystic first. Because I just want to do face. This is 5. Like, I really just want to do phase. I guess we do the Sun Fumes. So I'm going to do the Sun Fumes just so that we progress the Ezreal level up. Get a Terra as blockers, right? And then next turn, we're going to have enough to be able to kill him because the Ezreal is going to level up. I guess we don't have enough just yet. Twisted Fate is kind of scary, but it's not enough to scare me because we're also able to... Okay, we do have enough now, right? So, yeah, no matter how we do it, we win this game now. It's just a matter of how fancy we're going to get with it. I want to level up Ezreal. Yeah, so there you go. He does the Twisted Fate, right? So we do the the Static Shock, which is going to automatically level up the Ezreal. The only problem is that the Static Shock is not going to count right away. So I guess it doesn't matter, right? Like if we do it like this, and then do it like this, and then do it like this, we win the game, right? Opponent has no response to this. Because what happens is that as soon as we commit the spells, right? Ezreal levels up. We also get 3 turrets, by the way, even though the Heimer is dying. So you see how crazy this is. Like, as soon as we commit the spells, we're really doing all the damage. We actually should have done it the other way, because we actually ended up losing some damage. But it ends up working out. We still get a full board with all the turrets that we can block with, no matter what the opponent has. But yeah, you can see how crazy the cast to play change was in terms of Heimer or Ezreal, because you can trigger their abilities without actually needing them to stay on the field, or the opponent having no chance to like actually negate the ability. And there you go, 485. GG's. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against... Ooh. Ken and Ari? I'm back in like 4 months ago? Huh. Do they have any way to deal with Ezreal? Not really, right? The Pokestick doesn't get countered. And it can... I'm so tempted to keep both. So the reason I'm keeping both is because they can at least counter like a recall, right? They can counter the recall, which is very important. So I want to be able to, on turn 3, I want to be able to do like both cards at the same time. That's why I wanted to keep both of them. So yeah, we'll just take our free 2 damage here. Cool. I guess the opponent's going to try to recall that, but this is what I was talking about, right? We can do the Mystic Shot, and we can also do the Pokestick to be able to stop the Morn from getting recall. We could also just summon Ezreal, right? So we can summon Ezreal, and the opponent cannot attack with the Morn anymore. And if they commit another unit, they get punished. We just go like this. We go like this, we'll take this 3 damage, that's fine with us. We'll push 3 next turn, while also pulling with the... Actually, you know what? We're not going to pull with the Flame Jumpers. We're just going to attack like this. If the opponent wants to block this here, it puts it in the range of the Mystic Shot that I'm going to generate. They could try to recall it, and then we still have another mana for Pokestick or Mystic, right? They still levels up Ezreal, even if the opponent has a recall. There you go. Next turn we have 5 mana. I think I like the Boom Baboon. I like the Boom Baboon because next turn we have 5 mana, so we can do the Sunny Urchin, right? So we can do the Sunny Urchin, have the Chompers on the field, and still have mana to do Poke plus Mystic, which I think is huge. Cool. Electro Harpoon is pretty darn good as well. It's just annoying that the opponent is getting all that value. Huh. We can pull, right? Let's do it like this. I can pull both elusives, right? I can pull both elusives with the Chompers. Okay, opponent decides to do it this way, in which case we just do it like this and we still do the same thing. We just pull both elusives with the Chompers. Ezreal is about to level up here very quickly. We are down to 11 though, so we do have to be careful. We got to be careful because we're going to be down to 11. One is going to be also down to 11 though, so they need to be careful. One is going to decide to do the stun. I guess that makes sense. So we can always block with Astro whenever we need to, right? Let's just get the value from Harpoon right here, while still having Pokestick available. And I think we summon Conchologist. Okay, cool. Cool. We summon Conchologist here and we still have access to Pokestick. Oh, Lightning Rush is pretty good. Lightning Rush is very, very good. Lightning Rush still levels up Ezreal. No need for us to do anything here. Yeah. Ari. It's not leveled up yet. Can we just do it like this, and we just do the Pokestick here? And we just go to 7 and kill this unit? Opponent could have... I think I'm fine with this, right? So this is the good part here. We leveled this up on the stack, right? So now we can do the Pokestick here, negate that. We still take all this damage, but we still have a pretty wide board next turn, right? Opponent gets to recall, but he still doesn't get any value from this. We still kill the Conspirator. We still kill the Conspirator, and we still have a full board for next turn. And Ezreal is leveled up now, so the opponent's going to have a hard time dealing with us. We could even do the Lightning Rush right now to recall the Conchologist, right? While also killing this unit. This is the best unit to target here. Because we can pull the 1-1 with the Chompers, and if the opponent has the recall, doesn't get any value. We still can just pull the Ahri away. Oh, I guess, no. So this makes sense, right? So he levels up the Ahri right here. And by leveling up the Ahri right here, he stops Ezreal from being able to get the damage through. That was pretty good from opponent, because he can just summon this again. Heroic Refrain is better, right? We're super wide, so the Refrain, it means that we're gonna just push the lethal damage. No. Let's put it like this. Let's go like this. That way he has to sacrifice the droplet for free. I guess he has Homecoming. And we just do this. Opponent's gonna have to have Deny. And then doesn't have it. Opponent would have needed to have Denied it to stop that. And the moment he committed Deny, we can also commit the Heroic Refrain. I guess we would have been a little bit vulnerable though to Ahri next turn, but opponent would have almost had no cards to play with. So yeah, GG's. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against Lutz Jace. So Lutz Jace has been a pretty good deck that kind of got buffed by the same buffs that kind of buffed this deck up. So it should be interesting here. I don't mind the Conchologist at all, to be honest. I think it's Boom Baboon and then Conchologist. So we can do Boom Baboon and 2. Conchologist. Oh man, the Electro Harpoon also kind of makes it tempting now. Because I wanted to keep the Boom Baboon as a blocker. Oh, why did they always have that? We gotta play the Sunny Urchin. We gotta play the Sunny Urchin to get rid of that blocker. So this is our mistake. Okay, well, this works out for us. If he wants to drag this, he can drag it. I guess the question is here, do we block this? If we don't block it now, he's blocking with this later anyways. So I think it's fine to block because he's always going to block with that card. The Broadwind is really annoying though. What we can do here is that we can do the Senate Urchin, try to get a draw. Set this up to die to a Pokestick later down in the game. Is that going to be enough though? It's not going to be enough. This is unfortunate. Neither of these are really useful for us. I think the Tricksty Tentacles, ironically, is probably the best one. Because you can potentially get rid of like a single combat or something. And we can use that with Heimer and Curve. to get some value. We could pull the Broadwind with this and try to push 2 damage. I guess that's okay. Wow, okay, we push 4 damage. Okay, that's definitely worth it then. So opponent let us push 4 damage here. It's because they're going to have a 6-cost spell that they can use to potentially level up the 3-2. They end up not doing it, so we can just do like this. Give it all. Could actually be pretty funny, but I think Headstack Anomaly is probably better. The Headstack Anomaly can turn into an answer that we need for later. It is a lot more random though. I think Give It All is gonna get countered by too many things. I don't think we're ever gonna have a board big enough to do that one. He continues to just do nothing. If we do Heimer, we can do the Electro Harpoon on the Chompers and try to kill one of his units. Opponent probably has a 6-cost spell though to save the Persuader. So we probably have to target the Financier. Oh my goodness. We're gonna just target this now then. If he's gonna give it to us right now, we'll target it right now. And then do the turret and just try to go super wide. The question is, do we keep Heimer alive? Do we keep Heimer on the field? Are we supposed to keep this Heimer? I think we are. I think we are because we're going to be able to continue going super wide, right? I think Heimer is giving us so much value. At least to be able to get some turrets down. To be able to go back to being wide. We have 10 because we're going to lose a lot of our units here, right? So Heimer allows us to be able to go wide again. Opponent has the 6-cost spell to create the laser right now. Flash Freeze is not bad, but it's not what we needed. Goes like this. That will allow him to kill the Heimer. Let's threaten this. Wait, we can actually kill the laser. We can actually stop the laser by doing this. So we actually get rid of the laser here, keeping the Heimer alive, while also threatening the Broadwind, and also going too wide again. Do I take this? I guess I do, right? I guess I kind of have to. Kind of sucks, but I kind of have to. Oh, that's such a good draw. That's such a good draw. The question is, do we do the Get Excited here? Like, do we do the Get Excited, or do we do... I think I want to draw. I think I want to draw instead. I want to draw instead of doing the Get Excited right now, which is unfortunate, but I think it's important. Right here, Borealis. We can open and start digging for the burn. We can open and start digging for the burn. This is 4. Opponent's gonna be at 6. So a second Get Excited will do it. If opponent does have a way to respond to this, a second Get Excited does the game. Oh wow. A second Get Excited that wins the game. We also have Shock Blast, which is very good. Opponent does get to have a full board, which is scary. We do have the stun, so I'm not too concerned about his full board. And there you go. So that's game. Woo! Close. It was close, and he almost got there, but we ended up getting there as well. I'm surprised. I guess the opponent probably... I mean, the opponent spent their single combat last turn. But you can see how much value we got out of the Heimer. Even though the opponent was able to actually single combat the Heimer, we still get the turrets, which is such a big deal in this matchup. In any matchup. Like, being able to get the turrets, even if the opponent denies the spell or kills their Heimer, completely swings the matchup around. So yeah, GG's. So in this matchup, we'll be up against... Ooh, FTR. So... this should be a very hard matchup, right? This should be a very hard matchup. Opponents should have a lot of ways to remove our units. How greedy is it to keep Heimer? Because I feel like the turrets are going to be really vulnerable. The turrets are going to be really vulnerable to like Avalanche and Ravines, right? How do we want to do this? Is it actually the Archivist then? Because we are attacking on 3 and she's a 3 health unit. It might actually be the Archivist. Okay, we get the Heimer back anyway, so we can potentially get some value there. Opponent could have Bile Feast, so I probably actually want to do this first. Just so that we can play around the Bile Feast. The Progress Day I think is actually nicer. So this allows me to play around a Bile Feast, because even if the opponent has Bile Feast, it's not enough to kill us. The only problem is using this card right now means that we lose the value from her. If we don't use it right now, the opponent... Yeah, okay, perfect. Static Shock, I don't want to use the static anyways. So we can push 5 damage here. If opponent has the Aegis, he heals back up, so we're only going to push 2. Which I think is still fine. I think it's still fine. I think we're pushing the 5. Is that consideration to pass? No? Okay, so it's just going to be Tyrant Keeper. So at least it wasn't the Aegis. That way the opponent didn't get a chance to actually draw. We know we're going to get another static from here, so probably can save that for later. Opponent's trying to make it so that if I block here... So we're going to block here. By blocking here, we make it so that his Avalanche is not as good as he was before. He could have the Rabin, but that means that he loses the Tavern Keeper, while we still keep our Archivist alive. So by blocking that way, we make his Avalanche or Blighted Rabin a lot more awkward. There's a consideration that we just Mystic Shot this right now. But I don't know if that's actually correct. If we do this now, the opponent can still do the Avalanche. So let's do it like this. If the opponent does the Avalanche, then we can just Mystic Shot this right afterwards. Or just a Bile Feast. Okay. So that still lets me develop next turn, right? We just do Heimer and we Mystic Shot one of his blockers. Oh, wait. Opponent doesn't have any 8+ cards in their hand. Opponent play this and doesn't have the ramp. Because they still stay with 5 mana. Wait a second. This is a lot of draw, by the way. This is a lot of draw. So here we can do the turret. We can pull away the Trundle with the Flame Chompers and we push damage with everything else. He probably doesn't want to do... He's going to block here. Yeah, he just needs to... He decided not to take any damage with this. So he's getting greedy, trying to ramp up. The good thing that the opponent has going for him is that I actually don't have a lot of burn. Like, if I had more burn, they would be in trouble. I'm going to pass. I want to see him try to target something here before we commit anything else. If they want to pass with all this mana, that's also okay with us. Opponent's a little bit lucky that we don't have the necessary burn that we need. Should we try to level up the Ezreal? That's my question here. I mean, sorry. So I'm gonna do this first. I want to get rid of the Faces of the Old One. I wonder if he does it here. I wonder if he does the Rabin and decides to let go. Okay, so he's letting go of the Faces of the Old One. We still lose... We lose both units, but we still keep the Heimer alive. We can just kill this next turn with the Mystic Shot. Opponent will get the mana though, unfortunately, because the Rabin triggers after, so he does get to get the pillar. Do I need to just do the Heimer Progress Day instead? I think I do. I think we just do it like this. I think I'd rather just draw right now. And level up Heimer to put him out of range of like a second Avalanche. Opponent will level up their Trundle. If the opponent does Avalanche, they lose a blocker. Shock Blast, get excited. Still not enough. We need Ezreal. We need Ezreal, so I'm willing to do another draw next turn. Ooh, okay. So it's gonna go ahead and just kill everything. But hear me out. Unless the opponent has Battle Feast, they're also gonna lose their... If the opponent has Battle Feast, he can stop this, and we get the Ezreal. Okay, so now we can focus on leveling up Ezreal. So we can just do like this. Opponent's gonna lose their Trundle, otherwise they're gonna go all the way down to 6 health. So we can pull this away. Ah, freeze, okay. So the freeze is spent. That sucks. The pillar's still gonna be available. Opponent could potentially do... Oh, that sucks. Okay, so I guess he has to be Ezreal now, right? Man, that's rough. That's rough. I think we had a chance before the opponent was able to do that. I don't think we can summon the Heimer just yet. And the opponent has another... If the opponent has like another Avalanche, we just kind of just lose the game, huh? Because we have no way to kill this. Yeah, we have no way to kill that. Yeah, I guess I have to do it this way. Okay, that's not bad. This is going to be a guarantee if the opponent has another Avalanche right here. Yeah, there you go. So here's the question. We should just turn that into another one, right? We should just turn that into one of these. Sorry. So if we do it like this, opponent cannot attack, right? We don't want to do it on this one. Yeah, so if we do it like this, opponent cannot attack with the Trundle unless they decide to kill it. I guess they could attack with the It That Stares. I think this makes it a little bit awkward. We could also do it the other way and do it like this and have his unit die. Is that better? Or is it better to block the other way? Because I think doing it the other way loses to a freeze, right? So if the opponent has a second freeze, we lose to it. If we do it this way, opponent loses the unit right away and we just have to worry about the Trundle hitting us. I think I'm going to play around the second freeze. The only problem that I have here is that Trundle is just going to kill us, right? So Trundle just kind of kills us. I don't think we have enough burn to be able to actually kill his whole board. Sorry, we don't have enough burn to win even with Ezreal, especially now with him healing here. So now we just died to an Atrocity as well. Opponent only has the Ice Pillar available. Man, that Trundle is just presenting so much value for the opponent. Because there's no way for us to kill it, right? This is 3, this is 5. It would need to be like... I guess technically we can. But then we tap out of like everything else that we might be able to do. We just have to hope that the opponent has no more units that they can use. We just have to hope that the rest of the opponent's hand is like... non-value cards, right? Yeah, that's all we have to hope for. If the opponent has another Trundle in their hand, we lose the game. But we know it's probably not Feel the Rush. He's not Tryndamere unless he top decked it right now. So what could it be? So we have to just play it like this and hope that the opponent doesn't draw the out. Wow. Huh. Wow. Let's do this first. I want to do another progress day before we commit anything else. Yeah. Or we could just go a bunch of turrets. We could just go like this and like this and get 2 turrets, but then we lose to like an Avalanche. Or we can just do the progress day and get a 0-cost turret. Call it a day. And keep this burn for when we have Ezreal on the field. I think that's fine. The T-Rex is also going to be a good blocker if the opponent draws into like another Trundle or Tryndamere. Obviously, opponent's always gonna block, so we just go ahead with that. Opponent needs to be careful about our Ezreal. Now, this is our first Ezreal, so I don't feel too bad about it. Yeah, so there you go. So he gets a Tryndamere. I'm gonna go ahead and do this because opponent tapped out of Vengeance. Opponent will need to have the Atrocity. Now, Tryndamere becomes a 9/9. This is huge. This is pretty big. If the opponent lets us kill Tryndamere right here, he will not be able to attack, right? Because then we can actually kill the Tryndamere with the blocking with the T-Rex. Is there any way for us to kill Tryndamere on the stack and then be able to kill him afterwards? Yes. Actually, the opponent cannot attack with Tryndamere at all. Because if he attacks with Tryndamere, we can kill him on the stack with the Mystic Shot, block with the T-Rex, and then be able to do another Electro Harpoon to kill it. Okay, so he goes for the well, tapping out of mana. So as long as we keep 4 mana, we're okay. This is not a bad draw. This is not a bad draw in this scenario. Actually, that's an amazing draw. He gets rid of 1 card in their hand, which they could have. Light Ravine, okay. Opponent still doesn't go for it, so I think we just go ahead and do this, no? But then if we do that, we lose potential later. This puts him at 5. If the opponent lets this go through, they lose the game. If we do this, it doesn't matter, right? So no matter what we lose, because the opponent had the Atrocity in their hand. I guess he had to be Conchologist and potentially get Stress Defense, right? For us to have a chance. Yeah, it had to be like that. Opponent was smart, not attacking with Tryndamere. We almost got there. We almost got there. But the Atrocity top deck kind of just finished the game there. So yeah, GG's. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against Monoshirima. Now, I think we should do okay versus this deck, because I think we can... Pretty sure we can burn them down before they get to their spot. Try to see if the Harpoon makes sense. I don't think it does. I think I have to try to see if I can find some of my discard fodder. I don't mind keeping the Financier, because the Financier is so good. And there we go. We get the Sunny Urchin. We got the Financier to kind of combo out. And then we just need to start getting our burn after we push quite a bit of damage. Unfortunate that he's, he ended up getting the Doomkeeper right off the bat. So that kind of sucks. We can always drag the Doomkeeper next turn with the Flame Chompers, right? And it should be fine. That would allow the Flame Chompers to still survive, to be able to drag it later on. We can do the Financier here. Two Flame Chompers is not good. I think it has to be the Hidden Pathways. I think my hand is a little bit too awkward that the Hidden Pathway makes sense. If the opponent doesn't have a 2-drop here, we get to actually push 4 damage, which is pretty good. Because at the end of the day, this deck is kind of like a burn deck, right? Yeah, so whatever. So you get to kill one of my units. We still keep the other one alive. And we can push 2 damage again later on. The only problem with the Hidden Pathways is that we haven't created anything until we drop Heimer on the field. Which can be pretty accurate here. We also haven't progressed the Ezreal level up yet because we haven't tagged anything, right? Pokestick is really good. If the opponent ever gets like the Rock Copter or something like that. Oh, okay. Okay. I don't think we need to do anything right now. Yeah, I don't think we need to do anything right now. It just sucks because we're just taking that damage. He's gonna have another blocker here. I really don't want to use the Hidden Pathways until afterwards. We could just do the Static Shock. We could just do the Static Shock and start working on leveling up Ezreal. And then we can do the Pokestick. Unravel Earth. Okay, we can just put it on the Chompers. Yeah, so we can do the Pokestick to get rid of one of these units. And this is working towards the Ezreal progress. We get the Ezreal, so we have a way to potentially burn the opponent down. No matter which one we pull, opponent will be able to kill us. So I think we just pass. I think we just don't give him the board space. I think we just pass and don't let them get the board space. Okay, they decide to go like this. If they do like this, then I think it's okay to push 2 damage. Because at the end of the day, we have to just narrowly get him lower and lower so that we can actually kill the opponent. So dealing the 2 damage here I think is fine. Shock Blast is not bad. So opponent's trying to make it so that when I try to summon something, I was just going to kill one of my units. If we put the vulnerable on this one, then the opponent will be able to pull it. He's still able to kill the Sand Urchin for free because of the Rolling Sands. Why do we just do this? Why don't we just do this and just try to kill the Ezreal? Try to kill the Seraph next turn, right? Because the good thing is that with the change to Ezreal, with the change to the cast and play, this is gonna count for the Ezreal level up, even if the opponent actually kills our unit, right? And we also messed up. We could have blocked the Soothsayer, by the way. Sorry, even if the opponent has like Stasis, the Hourglass, it will still count for us to kill that. Now the opponent is at 13, so they do have to be careful. My only concern here is, like, killing the Seraph is nice because the opponent didn't get to level up the Seraph, but is that gonna be enough? I don't think it is, because opponent gets to level up a Seer here, right? I guess we should just... This is going to allow him to level up both champions. So I guess we should just do this. We need to do this now. Yeah, we're going to need to do this now. We're just going to do this now. This will enable the hidden pathways. Let's do it again. Line Speed is pretty good because it's gonna let Ezreal do a lot more damage when we attack base. Opponent could have a Quicksand, so that's what I need to be careful of. Ezreal can also die to a Rite of Negation, a Rite of Arcane, sorry. So I also need to be careful about that. Opponent could have both champions here, but it's still not enough to trigger the Sundisk. Oh no, he's just gonna do it like this. Okay. If that's the case, we can hit both of those by doing the Sand Urchin and then having the hammer on the field. I think at this point we potentially try to go wide if we can. Again, the problem here is the opponent has access to the Rite of Arcane, right? But if we can bait out the Rite of Arcane on the Heimer, I think I'm just passing. I think I'm just passing here. Like, why would I ever not pass here? Is Ezreal anywhere close to leveling up? Not yet. So let's do this. Let's do this. Just so that we can potentially go wide and have a lot of blockers for his potential Seraph and a Seer combo. Because he can level up the champions now. I really just want to keep this unit alive, right? So I really just want to be able to keep... I'll give 2 allies. Okay. I just want to be able to keep the Heimerdinger alive and bait out his responses. So look, he did that and wasted a mana. We still get a Fearsome turret on top of it. We can actually pull the Fearsome unit away from us. Right? Wow. Wow. Is there any chance that he has another Rite of Negation? Another Rite of Arcane. If he does, he's going to have to spend it right here. If we do this, we can level up the Ezreal while also getting another turret. So I think this is better. This levels up the Ezreal, gives us another turret. So then next turn, we also get rid of a blocker, right? So we get rid of a blocker, level up Ezreal, and get another attacker. And this is fine. The only problem is that we do lose the Fearsome. We lose the Fearsome value, right? I think we just attack with everything. At this point, our goal is just to burn the opponent down. So opponent can block here, he goes down to 9. But again, Ezreal. Can Ezreal survive? We have 3 damage to face, to burn. We're doing 9. So the idea is that by the time you summon Ezreal, you can kill the opponent on the spot, even if the opponent has Rider Negation, because Rider Negation doesn't stop the Ezreal trigger anymore. Because of the fact that the trigger happens right away on the stack. This is pretty good. My question is a second Rite of Arcane. A second Rite of Arcane could be an issue. Like, I'm not gonna... Like, if he's passing, he's just giving me all the outs. Because, like, now I can just open attack. Now I just open attack. He's taking another 4 damage. We summon Ezreal. Ezreal's level up, and we just win the game. So now we can literally just win at burst speed. Unfortunately, the opponent didn't seem like they drew their champions. But there is the power right here. Even if the opponent has a Rider Negation, technically, like this would do 2. Another Get Excited does another 2. Yeah, so that this is game right here. Because this is able to do 2 right on the stack. Opponent's gonna actually, yeah, I mean, he has to negate this, right? So he has to do Rider Negation in this, otherwise he's taking 4, then we just put in the burst speed, and that's game. So no matter what the opponent has, we just do Hidden Pathways or Plane Splitter and call it a day. They finally got their second Seraph, but yeah, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Like, this deck is kind of like a burn type of deck, so we just kind of just waited for the opponent to do whatever they wanted to do, right? And then we were still able to just level up Ezreal, put him down when you feel like you're good enough to burn them down, and then you finish the game from there. So yeah, GG's. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against, Ahri Cannon again. So we kind of show that we have a lot of removal for this deck, so I'm not too concerned about it. I don't think the Harpoon is correct. I do like the Mystic Shot, but I don't think the Harpoon is correct. We get Ezreal again. We have a pretty good hand. So having 2 Mystic Shots is pretty good because it means that we can counter if the opponent tries to have a recall, right? Ezreal can also put a lot of pressure. We could do the Oncologist here. Right? Try to see if we can get something else nicer. Like another ping. We can do Ferrous later. No reason to do this now. Thermal? Thermal or Iterative Improvement? Is there anything in his deck that we want to copy? I think I like the Thermal better. Like, Thermal can technically target the cannon right here, for example. So, like, we could literally do this right here. And we get a proc into the Ezreal. Now, it does mean that the opponent still has the Blade Twirler on the field, which has quick attack. But I'm not concerned about it, right? I'm going to summon Ezreal. I don't think the opponent has any way to deal with this except for sacrificing one of their elusives. Okay, so there you go. Like we talked about, he's going to have to sacrifice one of his elusives. And next turn, we can Mystic Shot to start of the turn. We start with the Mystic Shot. This is going to progress towards the Ezreal level up regardless. Alright. Opponent spends a twin like that, and I'm okay with that. And then we just summon the Ferrous Phoenix and call it a day. I guess we don't have to summon the Ferrous. If the opponent wants to pass, I'm okay with that pass. We can just keep our mana for anything else that we do. I'm good with the Ferrous now. Progress Day is very good. Treasure Trash can be denied. Keeper's Berry can be denied. Because this deck has deny, right? So I think we always do it like this instead. Same thing again. Let's start with the Mystic Shot. All this time we're progressing the Ezreal level up. Opponent does the Nullify. I think I'm committed. I'm committed now, right? I think I'm committed. I think I'm willing to do the Get Excited. All this time, by the way, we're still getting the level up on the Ezreal, right? Okay, so you're gonna go ahead and recall. Like him doing these spells right now is okay with us, right? Because it means that the opponent is not getting any value that he could have gotten later on in the game, which is the big part that we're more concerned about. Right here, we can just attack with both units. If the opponent wants to block, they can block. Otherwise, we just summon Heimer and start developing the field. And there it is. Cool. So now next, so we can even do the progress day instead of anything else and just take advantage that way. Or we can do wallop, etc. The idea here is going to be that we can go really wide while the opponent cannot do anything, right? I kind of like the Boom Baboon now since we got it, because we can do the Electro Harpoon. Let's do this. Let's do this. That will let us kill this, which will prevent this from going bigger. But it's going to recall it, which I'm completely okay with, I think. We just have to block. We can sacrifice one blocker because we'll have the evolution. We can save the stun for later, although the stun could be decent now. I think we just block, right? I think we just block. We just block like this. And just try to push the damage this way next turn. Because we can pull the elusive, right? So we can pull the elusive and we can go like this. Like we can even attack with Heimer. Attacking with Heimer is a little bit risky, but at this point I don't think it matters. Because Heimer already did his job. Heimer already did his job. So even if the opponent has a recall right here. Okay, so he's gonna do the stun, right? So we just do this. Man. That's okay. We gotta keep the wallet for later. So I'm okay taking this. Well, I'm saying meh for because we ended up not getting like any major like ping to potentially level up the Ezreal here. Which is a little bit unfortunate. We do have the T-Heads, which is a pretty good blocker. We have Conchologist, which we can do right now. And we can join to something else later. Oh, this is really good. Oh, this is so good. Time Wander is better though, isn't it? Time Wander is better because we can use Time Wander right now. Opponent's gonna have to decide which one of these to save. And we're still in a good spot here. We still have the wallet for later. So which one are you gonna save? Recall and Homecoming? Wow. Alright, so he decided that he wants to draw. Decided that he wants to draw, which makes sense. Still loses the Blade Twirler, which is the one thing that was worrying me. I have blockers for everything else. The Ezreal being on the field is a big deal, so we probably want to keep Ezreal on the field. But now that we have Heimer... No, I think keeping Ezreal in the field is really good. I'm going to keep the Ezreal in the field and see if the opponent wants to actually attack with the Morn. If they want to attack with the Morn, I'm going to give it to them. And see if the opponent wants to do the Twin. If they do the Twin, we can just wallow. Absorber, there you go. So taking that Absorber out is huge. We just wallow right here and still get value. The only problem that's going to happen here is that we don't really have... We don't have a way to push damage, right? We don't really have a way to push damage here. I'm going to do it like this. Because we know that the Ezreal is going to get blocked regardless. So there's no reason for me to pull one of the elusives. And this is still pushing 4. And then Ezreal could finish the game potentially. This is going to force another spell. We could have also just kept that second Ezreal, by the way. Actually, it's probably better to keep that second Ezreal. Okay, I mean, it sucks, but I'll take it. It sucks, because this also stays alive. So now we're at 8. If the opponent has the Ahri, we lose the game. Unless we draw something nice from the Pharaohs. And that's the nicest thing that we could have gotten. Opponent can never tap out of deny mana. Opponent can never tap out of deny mana or they lose the game. I'm willing to do the Static Shock right now. Because opponent probably wants to deny this. Yeah, there you go. So now that they deny this, we can finish the game with True Barrage. Unless the opponent has a second deny. And if they have a second deny... If they have a second deny, they have a second deny. There you go. Getting that static shock first to bait out the deny ended up working out for us. Now, opponent had to kill us this turn anyways, but they had elusive, so they could have potentially had the way to kill us. But we were able to, push through it. So yeah, GG's. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Hope you enjoyed those games. Like you saw, some really fun deck. It's a really fun deck that has some really fun games and a lot of thinking on how you're gonna burn the opponent down, how you're gonna kill them. Where are the points that you can go all in? Where are the points that you need to hold back? So I have a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with this deck, and I might continue playing it because it's honestly really, really fun. In terms of mulligan tips, I think you want to kick out all your burns. So if you get the Get Excited, the Mystics, the Pokey Sticks, etc., kick them out early, unless you're going against something that is beneficial to remove early. Like sometimes against some aggro decks, it might be okay to keep them. As you saw against the Ari Cannon deck, I was keeping them as well to be able to remove the units early. But usually in general, you want to go with your early units first before you burn, so that you're able to think of like Discard aggro or think of like Pirate aggro, right? You want to do units first, just push as much damage as possible, and then set up for your spells to kind of finish up the game. So that would be my advice. Like you keep your Urchin, Baboons, Conchologists, Ferrous Financier early on, and then work on your late game as the game goes on, right? Like you want to draw Heimer a little bit later into the game when you're in turn 5 or 6. You want to draw Estro preferably when he's already leveled up, etc., etc. So yeah. Anyways, if you like the content, please make sure to like the video below. You can also subscribe to us. We post LOR videos every single day. And you can also catch us on Twitch at TwitchStarTournament, where we stream 3 to 4 times a week. And you can also find us on Twitter and Discord. The links to those are both in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all again tomorrow for another video.